Have you ever been asked to do some test planning or you're part of a testing team? Well, this will help you get a little more of a big picture on verification versus validation and then how that relates to the plan. Now, first, we have our needs and our requirements for our system, our product that we're trying to build. They need to go into the planning. And then we need to ask several questions. We need to ask, did we build the design correctly? Okay, so then that's often called build to print. Did we actually produce it correctly as we have the design? Is that what got produced? For software, is that what actually got coded? Then the next one is, if you go over to the left, did the design meet the requirements that were inputted to it? So you have a product, you have the design. Did it meet those requirements that were assigned to that subsystem, the product, either as coded or as built? Now that is what we call verification. We're verifying a system of interest against its input requirements. Now, a third question is for validation. So the validation means that, did we build the correct design? Again, since needs and requirements are inputs here, the validation speaks to the needs. Okay, did we actually answer the customer's pain point in the first place? They gave us some money for a reason. And then the verification is a little bit lower level, where you look at the product and did it meet the requirements assigned to the product. Sometimes they're called the design input requirements because they were the input to the design process. Help the designers know, what the heck they're trying to do. Now for the test planning, we need to do all three. Now some of this, the build to print, that would be in your manufacturing organization. Sometimes they call it manufacturing quality. If you're in a mature organization, they've probably ironed this out. If you're in more of a startup, then there's some kind of, I don't like to call it quality assurance, but some people call it that, to make sure that your manufacturing processes are correct. And then what you put into the cutting mill, for instance, is what cuts on the table. Then this is going to be the bulk of the effort, verification. There's going to be a lot of planning there, but there also needs to be some planning for validation. And this planning usually requires a lot of liaisoning with the customer, getting the customer there, a customer representative. Again, just to double check that the needs are being met. Now, it's always a good idea, if possible, get the customer involved in verification. Because they may have some insight that says, oh, this product absolutely won't work in our system because we need it to, be a certain form factor, or we need it to be blue. Now, usually that's hashed out ahead of time, but not always. So if the customer can get involved in verification and not just wait until validation, when a lot of times it's very expensive to make a change, then you want to do that. You want to get the customer involved as early as possible. Also, for test planning, don't just start when the product's starting to roll off the line or the prototypes. See if you can really get involved in the early modeling, the early system inspections, the candidate designs. If you can start this test planning there and look at validation, look at verification early on, a lot of times you can catch things before you've got a prototype in your hands that won't work, or you've coded 500,000 lines of code and now, the architecture is not right for whatever reason, and you've wasted a lot of that money. So again, test planning can be an exciting job. Keep these three in mind and you're going to succeed in your test environment, particularly if you're the lead or you're managing people who do this. And again, message me below if you have any more comments. Feel free to reach out to me directly, but this should give you some help if you're in a test organization.